women will break your heart, boxing will break your heart, but pizza will never break your heart. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports and subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, excuse the randomness. It's just how I'm feeling. But, in boxing news, Deontay Wilder and his manager, JD's the guy who was like, I mean, if you guys remember watching the Bermane Wilder fight, the white guy at the end of the fight who was like, who can box? Who can't go 12 rounds? That guy? He came out and he basically said that Deontay Wilder would be happy to unify titles with the newly crowned WBO champion Joseph Parker. Now, here's what he said. I quote, "It depends how February 25th goes against Andre Wawrzyk. If Deontay does not get any wear and tear or injuries and everything goes well, we would rather fight in the middle of the year. And if a Parker fight in the middle of the year is available, we would love the opportunity. Parker's a competitor. He's young, fast, and strong. He has plenty going for him. The guys working with him have done a tremendous job. Parker's a very good fighter, and I think Wilder beats anybody in the heavyweight division, but of course I'm supposed to think that. I'm sure Parker's people think he can beat anybody, and that is why we need to get them in the ring." Let's see. Then he says, then in the article it says, with 3 fighters holding world titles in the heavyweight division, Dees believes the landscape creates a lot of confusion for fans. So he then goes on by saying, I quote, "It's really not good when the average person does not know who the heavyweight champion of the world is. That is not good for the sport. There should be one recognized champion. For the overall good of the sport, it is the best thing to do," end quote. Now, I agree with a lot of the sentiments JD's is sharing, a lot of things he's saying. Obviously, we get to a better place in boxing, not just in America, but worldwide, if there was someone who held all the belts, especially in the heavyweight division. That's a big deal, and it leads to a lot of prominence, and people begin to recognize that person as the heavyweight champion of the world. Now, this is a fight that should happen. Personally, if Wilder just knew how, look, a lot of his hand injuries, and I'm not trying to hate him, the guy, but a lot of his hand injuries stem from him, number one, being very awkward and not just turning his punches properly. If he did that, he'd be okay. But regardless of what I think, I'm with him. I think this would be a good fight. Wilder, his awkwardness, his awkward, rangy, power punching self versus the speed and combination punching and toughness of a Joseph Parker. I think it'd be a really great fight. I think the winner of that fight could fight Anthony Joshua not too long after that. But boxing is a business, and I don't mean to sound like Floyd Mayweather, like I said before, imitating strictly boxing news. But anyway, boxing, just like life, is a lot about timing. We got to see what happens with Wilder in this next fight. We got to see what is in the plans for Parker. But it's ultimately a fight that should happen, and I'm glad that JD, someone very prominent in Wilder's team, is pushing for the fight. And honestly, like, a lot of people don't think Parker won his fight against Andy Ruiz. A lot of people thought Andy Ruiz won, and a lot of people, myself included, don't even think Deontay Wilder is that great of a heavyweight. A lot of people like myself are waiting for Wilder to legitimize himself in our eyes at the championship level of boxing. He got to win against Stiverne. Kudos to him. Stiverne's a tough guy, but he hasn't had no more than 2 good wins, and we just want to see him in there with like upper B level, A level type of fighters, and we haven't seen that yet. Joshua, for as much criticism as he's gotten from some people, Anthony Joshua in his 20th professional fight, I believe, is fighting somebody better than anybody on Wilder's resume. So that says a lot about Joshua. So I want to see this fight. This is the fight I definitely want to see. Whoever wins would become known as more of a legitimate heavyweight champion, and get a lot of credibility as a byproduct of that. So hopefully this fight can happen. I don't necessarily know who I would win. I'd have to go back and break down the styles. I'll probably lean a little bit more towards Wilder just because of the experience, but I'd have to go watch more on Parker. Honestly, I didn't get a chance to watch the entire Ruiz fight because I had to stream it and it went terrible, so I gotta go watch that eventually. But let me know what you guys think. Wilder, Parker, maybe somewhere middle of 2017. What do you guys think about that fight? And who do you think will win? Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.